The Sunday Scaries don't actually start on Sunday. You think they do, but the dread actually begins because you didn't use your Friday efficiently. But with these simple Friday routines, you can walk into Monday feeling calm and ready to go. Welcome back to Educator University. I'm Annie. Let's get into it. The first Friday routine is the classroom reset routine, and this is something you do with your students. Find a time during your Friday schedule to set aside time for cleaning and organization. It can be really fun to put a timer on, put some music on, and have students help you clean parts of the room that need to be tidied up. Giving students a chance to clean up gives them ownership into the classroom and teaches them responsibility. It also is a great opportunity for them to get up and moving. Sometimes Fridays can feel a little bit crazy, so giving the students a chance to move around the classroom in a productive and structured way can also be a great way to get their energy out. Along with getting your physical space organized with the students' help, you also want to use this time to help students organize their materials and papers. By Friday, students have papers maybe in their notebook or in their folder. Give students expectations for what should be going where and how they can figure out what needs to be left here at school, what needs to go home, and what can be thrown out. This is also just a great life skill for students to have. Keeping your materials and papers organized is something you're going to need as you move into adulthood. And giving them the time and also instructions on how to do this is a great thing for you to do. It also helps you as a teacher because it also reminds you to reset your physical space. While the students are getting themselves figured out, do your desk. Get your papers off your desk. It's a great reminder that every Friday we should be cleaning up a little bit, organizing a little bit, so that way it doesn't feel overwhelming on one day of the week, especially on Monday. Because one of the worst feelings on Monday is to walk into a classroom that is disorganized or a desk that is disorganized, and then you have to start working and it feels like you're starting already from behind the 8-ball. Find some fun music, get a timer on, be clear about the jobs, and you will feel much better on Monday morning walking into a clean classroom. So now that your physical space is clean, let's move into the second routine, and that is lesson planning routine. If you can leave on Friday with your lesson plans done for the entire next week, you will feel amazing walking in on Monday morning. Now, how do you do that? I can already hear some of you thinking this is impossible because you need the whole weekend to plan or you need more time to plan. I hear you, but I'm going to push back on you a little bit, so please follow with me. I used to feel that way too, but it is a sure way to burn out. And here's the truth. There's something that I learned recently called Parkinson's Law. What does that mean? Parkinson's Law is the idea that a task will expand to the amount of time you give it. We can all kind of relate to this in college. We had a paper due at the end of the semester. We had weeks to do it, but how many of us were doing it the day or the hours before it was due? Sometimes the more time we give ourselves just means we're going to be spending more time on the task. Just because we give something more time doesn't mean it's going to be better. In fact, it just might mean it takes more out of us and makes us more drained and harder to get back on Monday. So try your best to get your lesson plans done by Friday. Now, how do you do this practically? 1, ask for help. I bet you there's somebody in your school or district that can give you some resources to make your job easy so that you can plan by Friday. 2, lower the expectations. If you cannot plan the lessons in the time you're given, that means your lessons are probably a little too advanced at this point. You don't have to be Miss Frizzle level lessons, okay? We're not going on a magic school bus. Create lessons that you can do in the time you're given. At some level, you have to be realistic with what you can actually accomplish with the time that's given. Yes, we would love for every lesson to be magical and a crazy, amazing experience, but that might be a once in a week experience or a once in a month experience. Majority of your lessons may at this point need to be a basic lesson plan, especially if you're just starting out. Of course, you want to create lessons that are following standards and are following the things that your school wants, but at the same time, it shouldn't be taking you outside the contract hours. And if you have that mindset, you can use your Fridays in a way to create manageable, realistic lesson plans for your following week. Another part of the lesson planning routine is to make sure you have your copies and print done or ready to go. That'll be so nice on Monday to walk in and not worry about if the copy machine works or if someone else is using it. If you have print that's coming from outside the building, you may have to plan this a couple days even before because it may take longer than a day to get to you. And lastly, for the creme de la creme, if you want to do lesson plan reset, the ultimate piece of lesson plan reset would be before you leave on Friday, after the kids leave, you have a few minutes, go ahead and erase your whiteboard and put on the agendas for next week. Just imagine how great it will feel to walk in on Monday morning with your agendas already on your board, your print already done, and your lesson plans ready to go. Won't that make Sunday feel so much less stressful? I know it did for me. All right, so your lesson plans are done and you have set up your classroom for success. You're almost there. So here's the last routine. It's called the the to-do list routine. You know that to-do list. Every teacher has one in the back of their head. They're always thinking, I have to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. Maybe it's not urgent. Monday's already covered. You got lesson plans, you got clean classroom, but there's just all these things in your brain you're thinking about for the future, for maybe the big unit plan or for a field trip or all the things in your head. Take a piece of paper, write everything down that you're thinking is running through your brain, and then take that piece of paper, put it on your desk or put it in your desk somewhere you're going to have, and say, it will be there when I come back on Monday. I can relax. And when you walk in on Monday, you know that list will be there and you can decide if and when you want to do it. Because on Monday morning, you'll have a clean desk, a clean classroom, and lesson plans. I find this routine has been one of the most helpful for my sanity and my ability to create a really good work-life balance. I know sometimes we can be afraid we're going to forget things over the weekend that are important for school, so we're never really fully disengaging. By making the checklist, you know that everything that you need to do is on that checklist. Anything even remotely in your brain about teaching is on the checklist, and you can access it as soon as you get back to school. But for the time being, you can leave school at school and know that you can relax at home. And that's part of having a calm Monday. I truly believe that if you can't disengage and can't relax over the weekend and fully let yourself go from the teaching profession, you will burn out. And that's part of why this last piece is so important. If you can leave school at school, it will make you feel so much more relaxed when you come in Monday morning, because not only will you be physically ready to go with your lesson plans in your classroom, but also mentally you'll be rejuvenated and ready to go for a new week, which you need as a teacher. We need time to relax and decompress. When we bring work home with us, that doesn't give us that time. In fact, it just weighs over our head and makes life even more stressful going back to work on Monday. And those are the 3 Friday routines you need to have a calm Monday. Let me know in the comments what routine is your favorite. And if you want to know how to build routines and procedures in your classroom, check out this video where I explain just how to do it. I'll see you in the next video.